as at your home or at your workplace, nearly every desk or countertop or workstation has a computer on top of it, and it will usually have a mouse as well. Since everyone uses a computer at home or at work, a custom-made mouse pad would make a very unique desk accessory. You can make one for yourself, you can make it for a gift, or even make them for a nice profit. Since you will probably be making several mouse pads of the same size, it's a good idea to make templates. A very popular size is 7 inches by 10 inches, although other sizes are most certainly okay, depending on what your customer's desires or your desires, or the tooling pattern that you're going to use. I prefer to cut them from 6 to 7 ounce or 8 to 9 ounce vegetable tanned leather. Of course, once you position your pattern on the leather, it's a good idea to trace around it very carefully with a scratch awl. And for this reason, it's a good idea to use cardstock or lightweight cardboard for your cutting templates. Cut your leather with a good sharp knife and a straight edge. And it's also quite important to have a good cutting surface, as this hard rubber poundo board or a poly cutting board. The corners can be cut with a sharp knife or a good leather shears. I personally like to use the leather shears. They're very sharp and very easy to follow the pattern as you go around the corners. And here is our piece of leather all ready for your dyeing, tooling, and finishing. Here is our finished piece, all ready to start the construction process. Notice that I have put some initials on this one. I have block dyed the edge with a brown dye, and I have a pattern that's kind of like wheat, done with an oblong cedar. Now we have selected a piece of cardboard from the back of a tablet, and we'll use that to make a stiffener for this mouse pad. First thing we'll do is, of course, is position it where we can get the piece, and we'll take a pen and draw around the outside of it. Next, we will cut the cardboard stiffener down to the proper size. In this case, we're going to use leather lace and do a buck stitch around the outer perimeter, so I will take a straight edge and cut my cardboard about 1/4 of an inch smaller on all 4 sides. I'll mark it, of course, and then I'll take my ruler and mark the lines where we're going to cut. Again, with a good sharp knife, my ruler, and a good cutting surface, I will now cut the cardboard stiffener to the size that I need. Using my template now, I will place it in the corners, and I will trace with my pen or pencil and mark these corners. Again, with our good sharp leather shears, I will cut the cardboard corners of our stiffener. I will also coat the back of our leather with a liberal coat of the contact cement. I have allowed the cement to dry until it's tacky, and now I will very carefully place the cardboard over the back, making sure that I get equal 1/4 of an inch on all 4 sides, and then I will drop it into place and push it down with my hands. I have selected a piece of nice pigskin suede for the back side of this particular project. Now I will take my pen and notice that I'm tilting a little bit so that as I make my mark, it's a little bit larger than the piece itself. We will want to trim this off later. Please note I am cutting this even a little bit larger than my mark. Now this is the back side, so this mark will not show once we have it cemented in place. As we did with the putting the stiffener in place, I am now applying the same contact cement to the back side of the cardboard and the edges of the leather. Make sure you get good coverages on the edges of the leather. And now we will apply the same cement to the back side of our suede lining. Once again, we have allowed our cement to dry and still it's tacky, and now we will very, very carefully place the two pieces together. And remember that once you stick it down, this is permanent. It'd be very difficult to move it. So now turn it over and with your fingers make sure you get a good tight bond on all of the outer edges. To do our cutting now, as you know, what I mean there is to do the trimming, use a good sharp knife. I prefer to use a sharp knife on the straight edges, and then on the corners I prefer to use a shears. It's much easier to go around the corner with the shears. And here's our finished piece, all ready to continue. Now at this point we can use it as is and just finish the edge, or we can punch it and lace it, punch it and stitch it. It's your choice at this time. I have chosen to buck stitch this project, so I will take my wing dividers and very carefully scribe a line all the way around, about 1/8 of an inch inside of the outer edge. Since I'm going to buck stitch this with 1/8 inch lace, I will use a 1/8 inch thonging chisel and punch all around the outside. And here's our finished piece, all ready for us to do the edge finishing. Here are some other ideas for you. Here's one with a nice floral design that has been double loop stitched all the way around. And here's another one that's got an outdoorsy look with the oak leaves and a whip stitch. And finally we have one with a floral pattern in the corner and a meandering border that has only been cemented.